Hi, friends. Welcome back to Sorta Awesome. I'm your host, Meg Teets. I am so giggly and so happy to be joined today by my dear friend, my longtime co-host, Rebekah Hoffer of simplyrebekah.com. Hi, Rebekah.
Hello, I'm thrilled to be here.
I'm so happy you're here. You're fresh from the beach. You're feeling refreshed. The ocean waves restored your soul. Does that feel right?
It does a little
Am
bit.
I getting
Yeah,
this right?
we had a great time at the
So
beach.
I'm so glad that you did. Kind of a nice way to round out the summer feel. And now we're back in it, right? Back into the rhythms and routines and school year and all that stuff.
Yeah, everybody was sad to go back to school
I
today,
bet.
but I have a quiet house to myself and I don't feel so sad about that.
And another reason to feel happy and enjoy the silence is we have such a fun conversation planned today. We are going to be asking each other questions about when was the last or what was the last. Just kind of playing with the idea of, hey, you know what? It's a fun way to see what your friends have been up to, asking questions that have to do with pop culture and lifestyle stuff. And we also just have some questions very specific for each other. So I think this is going to be really fun. Rebekah, you always have you have such a knack for brainstorming and have such a good way of like thinking of questions that are fun to ask. So I think you've got us some good ones to ask each other here.
Well, and vice versa, because you came up with a lot on this list, and many of them were duplicates that I had in mind. So I think
We're on the
we're
same
good to go.
wavelength.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Well, we're going to get to all of our lasts, but in a happy way, today on Sorta Awesome. Welcome back, Awesomes, to the show that is all about helping you be smart, strong, and social. If you have been looking for a community of women to support you no matter what age or stage of life you're in, I'm really happy to tell you that you've come to the right place. In fact, we would love to have you join us outside of your podcast app. Yes, this is where the magic of the podcast happens. And we are so happy that you push play every single Friday on Sorta Awesome. If you haven't already, subscribe to Sorta Awesome wherever you're listening so you never miss a new episode from us. But then when you're done listening, if you haven't, come and find us in one of our social media communities because that is genuinely where the real magic happens in our community. You can come and find us on Instagram at Sorta Awesome Show, where we are bringing a little bit of awesome to your Instagram feed every single day, or come and find us on Facebook in the heart of our awesome community in the Sorta Awesome Hangout, where we always have something to talk about, some advice to give, some troubleshooting to do for you. Basically, Rebekah, I think you'll agree, we're there to solve all of life's problems for you.
Absolutely.
no matter how big or small. So, okay. We have so much fun conversation ahead with asking each other our lasts, and I cannot wait to dig into that. But Rebekah, before we get to that part of our conversation, let's go ahead and start this show the way we always do with our Awesomes of the Week. If you're new to Sorta Awesome, Awesome of the Week is the moment in the show where we stop and talk about whatever it is that's making life just a little bit more awesome right now. It could be a book or a TV show, music, movie, products, recipes, apps, whatever is bringing that extra gold sparkle to our days. Rebekah, what do you have for us this week?
Meg, you and I have been out of the dating game for quite a while now.
It's been a minute. It's been a couple of decades. Yes.
Well, this awesome of the week is for all of those awesomes, young and old, who are navigating the dating world today.
Oh,
And,
okay.
and that is the book, Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday by Nick Viall. And his accompanying podcast, The Viall Files.
Yes. Okay. Okay. The Viall Files I'm familiar with from my dabbling in Bachelor Nation, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So this is written by somebody who is like the king of Bachelor Nation. I don't know if he would call himself that, but I'm calling him
Probably
that.
would.
He probably would. So I have been trying to listen to more audiobooks this year, and I've been seeking out books written by people that I follow online. And Nick is part of Bachelor Nation. He came in second place on 2 seasons of The Bachelorette. He was on Bachelor in Paradise, and he was even cast as The Bachelor. Nick is a no-nonsense type of guy that is very comfortable with telling people what to do. And that led him to answering dating questions every Sunday on his Instagram, which led to his podcast where he has Ask Nick episodes, as well as episodes that are dedicated to covering reality TV, such as The Bachelor and Vanderpump Rules and all of those types of shows. And this led then to his book, which I am making my awesome of the week, Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. Meg, this
Okay.
book is so good. So I initially read it just out of curiosity, right? I'm like trying to read more in audio. I have followed Nick for a long time. I'm just curious. I feel like on his podcast, he does a really good job of giving advice. And I was like, why not? I'll just try the audiobook. Well,
Yeah.
it's so good. So good, in fact, that I want to keep this in mind when my kids are maybe in their 20s and they are doing more
Oh,
dabbling in the world of
wow.
dating, that this could potentially be a book that I would trust to give them some solid advice.
Oh
Nick,
my gosh, that's like a huge recommendation.
it
Huge.
really is.
Like, wow. Yeah.
So Nick has this amazing way of taking very nuanced emotional topics and narrowing them down to their most simple and logical parts. And so some of
Okay.
his basic concepts that he includes in his book include like being direct, asking for what you want, setting and keeping your boundaries. His advice really echoes that energy of he's just not that into you, but
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
with a little bit more of a twist of this person isn't serving you, this person isn't giving you what you want. Why are you
Okay.
settling for less than what you actually want and less than what you deserve?
Right.
It's really
Okay.
very refreshing.
Yeah. So I didn't know. It's been literally a couple of years since I kind of was tracking with what Bachelor Nation is up to. And I did listen to a number of episodes of his podcast because I do think he has a very specific and enjoyable way of just being. His presence is just really interesting. But I hadn't listened to it in a couple of years. And so I didn't know he was even in this realm of sort of like relationship advice and advice giving in general. This is all extremely fascinating to me. And the fact that you, a person who's been married for a long time, it had such an impact on you. I'm like, I think I need to check this out too. Oh my goodness.
It was even fun for me as somebody who's married just to get a little bit of a taste of what is it like right now for the young ones, right? Like online
Yeah.
dating is such a new thing. Hookup culture is like a big deal, and just how are people navigating this? So I even really appreciated reading it just from that perspective of these days because I'm
What are they?
really out of the loop.
Yes. What are the kids into on the dating scene? Yes. Yes. Yes.
So, one
Wow.
thing that I
Okay.
will say about Nick and the book, if you are older, if maybe you have kids and you're navigating the dating scene, he tends to be dealing with people who are in a stage of life that's a little bit more low stakes. It's kind of like
Okay.
this guy isn't right for you, kick him to the curb. He's not dealing with people who are married, people who have kids, talking about, once you're in that monogamous committed relationship, how do you withstand that test of time? He's really
Right.
geared more towards people who can like walk away from a relationship and they're not having to deal with
Mm.
lawyers and mortgages and custody
Hmm.
battles, right? So it's like a completely
Right.
different vibe, but it still is really
Yeah.
fascinating. And in addition, his podcast, The Vile Files, I'm also making as, kind of a co-awesome of the
Yeah.
week.
Yeah.
These
Yeah.
Ask Nick episodes that he does are really kind of fascinating in like a getting a touch of some maybe like juicy gossip type of way, like just getting a
Oh,
glimpse into how messy some people's lives are. And it's like all low stakes
okay.
for me because I don't know anybody. It's not my life. That's not the stage of life that I'm
Yes.
in. But it's just kind of fun to observe from afar the messiness of some
Okay.
people's lives. And then he does these update episodes where he'll get updates from people who had written in or called in, and they're
Oh,
providing updates
wow.
then on how things went when they took his advice or if they didn't take his
Yeah.
advice. Sometimes he gets a little bit snarky. He's like, listen, you're just not listening to me. And that's why you're having these problems. I mean, it's just a fun listen. So I recommend the book. It's called Don't Text Your Ex Happy Birthday. I recommend the podcast. It's called The Vile Files. Whether it's to get dating advice for yourself or just a little glimpse into the messy world of dating for other people, I recommend it.
Okay. So I am definitely going to check out his Ask Nick episodes because, when Normal Gossip isn't in season, I'm like, I genuinely will sometimes go back and listen to episodes, the early episodes of Normal Gossip because I love it so much. So maybe I could get that. I feel like you're telling me I could get that low stakes gossip fix that I'm needing until Normal Gossip comes out again.
I mean, just to like tempt you a little bit, a recent question I heard him answering was, my boyfriend is having an emotional affair with his cousin. I mean, come on. Don't
What?
you want to hit play on that and see like what are these people talking about? What is going on here?
I need to know more about that immediately. Yes. Okay, that sounds so good. We will have links in the show notes for you guys to go check that out if you both want straightforward dating advice or if you're like me and you like other people's mess. Something for everyone in
Yeah.
Rebecca's Awesome of the Week this week. Okay. Well, my Awesome of the Week this week is an app, kind of. I would say it's an app slash widget for your phone, and it's called Locket. Have you heard of this at all, Rebecca?
I think I just saw a TikTok about this.
Okay. Well, Daisy, my oldest, who is away at school now, had told me before she left, she was like, we should put Locket on our phones. And she explained it to me. And I was like, yeah, we should totally do it. And it kind of like in the, chaos of everything, I had forgotten about it. But then I saw a TikTok about it. So they must be hitting the social media ads hard right now. So Awesomes, as you're listening, maybe you have seen it come across your social media feeds. But I'm going to tell you why I'm absolutely loving Locket. So I don't know. Did you, whenever Be Real got really big and popular, did you put Be Real on your phone?
I do have Be Real on my phone, but it is
Okay.
majorly locked down. I think I have 5 friends.
Okay. Do you do it like when the prompts come through? Or
I
like when you
do.
get the notification, I guess? I say prompt. Okay. I put Be Real on my phone when it was like super popular. And honestly, Rebecca, it made me feel so bad about my life. I was like, I am so lame. I'm literally always at home. This was when I was homeschooling the boys. So all of my Be Reals, I was either working, I was either at my computer, or I was like homeschooling the boys or like doing something so boring around the house that I just like started to resent when the Be Real notifications would come on. I'd be like, no, I'm not going to do it. So I
I mean,
abandoned that
I've
app.
had the same experience. I have scrolled through my Be Real history and I'm like, okay, I'm in the car, I'm in my bed. I'm in the car, I'm in my bed. Oh, there's my computer. I'm doing my nails. There's my computer. I'm in bed.
Right.
I'm in the car. I'm doing my nails. Like, that's literally all that I do. I even went to the beach and my Be Real notification went off while I was in bed at the beach. And so I'm still like in bed.
Okay, that makes me feel a little better. I feel like Be Real is a young person's app. It is not for the established routine people. Okay. So I had abandoned that app, but Daisy had said, we should put Locket on our phones. And so the concept, I guess I should tell you, it's sort of like Be Real, except you don't get a notification to do it. You can add friends and then send them pictures directly to their app on their phone, to the widget on their phone, whenever you want to. You could send 5 a day. You could send them once a week or whenever. It's totally when you want to. And So there's an app that lets you take the picture yourself or whatever, but then you also have to put the widget on your phone, and the widget is what displays the most recent pictures that your friend or friends have sent you. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah, I'm following.
Okay. So I have really been loving it. Now, Daisy is a freshman in college, so she's not often thinking of sending pictures to her mother, which I wish she would, but I'm trying to not like be like, send some pictures. But we have been having fun. Like Nico especially loves to send pictures to Daisy. So we'll, we're out on a walk, we'll snap a picture and send it to her. Or, if the dog is doing something cute, I'll snap a picture and send it to her. And it's kind of nice and fun. Yes, you could do this in your messaging app, but it's nice to just have it where it shows up on somebody's screen so that every time you open it, you see your friends' faces or what your friends are up to. I only have Daisy on there, and that's probably all I'm going to put on there. But I think you can add as many friends as you want, other friends who are on there. I don't know if there's a limit
So
of
you
how many
don't have
people that you can
AJ and Kyle
add on there.
on your app as well?
No, first of all, neither of them are going to be interested in doing this. I can promise you that. And then secondly, like we could do that, but like we are living in the same house and it's like, I don't know, not quite as fun and entertaining. I do think it's the most fun if you're trying to keep up with somebody maybe who is far away, or even maybe you live in the same town, but you just like your schedules are so busy, you don't see each other. Maybe you're dating and you want to like send pictures throughout the day. Whatever spiciness level you want for those pictures is up to you to decide. And that's another thing. You can choose. Unlike on Be Real, which I think when you send it when you're on Be Real, it like sends it to everybody that you're connected with, right? You can't really pick and choose.
Right.
So on Lock It, you can totally pick and choose. So say I had Daisy on there, but maybe also, Laura Tremaine, who lives in LA. Like I could send pictures just to Daisy that would go just to her phone home screen, and then send pictures to Laura that would go just to her phone home screen. So you can be more selective about who's getting what pictures, and you don't have to send it all out to all of your contacts. I feel like I am being so messy in explaining this, and it's really quite simple. It's a very simple concept, and it's just bringing me so much joy because when I open my phone, now this is a funny picture of Daisy right now, and she's going to probably not enjoy that I'm showing you this one. You can see her face.
And there's captions.
She was skeptical. Yeah, and there's captions too. So there was a really cute one before this, but I had sent her a picture that she wasn't sure what I was sending her a picture of. So she's like has a puzzled look on her face. I'll have her send me another one so I can update to show the awesomes. But the great thing is when I open my phone, here's my child who I miss so much, and I just see her cute little face every little time.
Adorable. I love that.
Yes.
Good for grandparents. I think it's great.
Perfect. If you have parents or people in your life that you live far away from, siblings, friends, whatever, who have iPhones, I guess, and maybe you can do it on Android too. I should have looked to see, but it's so great. It's kind of like those, I think it's skylight frames. Are those the ones that show like
digital picture frames?
Yes. Yeah. Like that, except it's on your phone. I don't know. I just love it. It's the Lock It app. It's free. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I would love to hear if you guys have found it. And if you haven't, check it out, put it on your phone, see if you like it as much as I do. So, okay, those are awesomes of the week for us. We love to hear what is awesome in your life. So again, come and find us on social media at Sorta Awesome Show on Instagram, or every single Friday over in the Sorta Awesome Hangout. We are always talking about awesome of the week, what's awesome in the lives of our awesome community. So come and find us on Facebook in the Sorta Awesome Hangout. Rebekah and I have lots of lasts to discuss. We're going to get to that when we come right back. Okay, we are back. And this week, Rebekah and I thought it would be so fun to talk through some lasts. Like, what was the last fill in the blank? Or maybe when was the last and then fill in the blank? Just as a way to kind of, I don't know, catch up with each other. And I would love to hear some answers from the awesomes on these questions as well. So, Rebekah, I thought we could start things. We could kick things off with maybe some pop culture-y questions. So I'm so curious about this. What was the last album that you actually bought. You didn't just stream it on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever. You actually paid your dollars and cents for the album.
Okay. It was, it was Harry's House by Harry Styles.
Okay. Yes.
Because I think a pattern that might come up here is that although I am only 41, there are a lot of areas in my life where I am a digital grandma, and I still use a CD player predominantly in my kitchen.
Oh, yeah.
And so
No.
on CD that I listen to in my kitchen quite a bit.
That is so fun and funny. But so you own the actual CD, a physical copy of it.
Yes,
And you bought it when it came out?
Yeah, like just recently. Like last year. I even asked for a One Direction CD for my birthday.
Did you really?
Yeah.
And did you get
CD
it?
player a lot.
Okay, good. I'm impressed. You know who else is real big into buying the actual CDs that I have found is K-pop fans. Like my daughter AJ is super into K-pop, and she like saves up a lot of her allowance and other dollars and cents so she can buy the actual K-pop albums in K-pop. I don't know how much you know about K-pop, Rebekah, but the albums come with like all kinds of extras, photo cards, stickers, journals. So it's not just the CDs, it's like a whole thing when you buy. I mean, they're kind of expensive, but you get a whole bunch of stuff. So anyway,
well, that's
there's
cool.
that little tidbit.
So what was the last album that you bought?
This is so random. It was an actual record. We don't have a record player, but I did buy the record.
Okay.
This is so incredibly random. I have Steve Lacy's album, Gemini Writes, in record format. So also because of AJ loves music. It's one of her biggest hobbies. And the kids these days use records to decorate a lot, both the actual vinyl albums themselves, but then also the record covers to decorate their rooms. It's a whole thing. And so we have a record store genuinely down the street from us, and we had gone and we were looking through all of the record bins, and she found, I do love Steve Lacy's Gemini Writes. It's one of my favorite album releases of the past year or so. And she's like, Mom, here's Gemini Writes. You should totally get it. And so I bought it just to have. I have not played it because, again, we don't have a record player, but it's an album that I actually really did buy.
I'm not sure which one of these answers is more digital grandma. The CD player that's being used a lot, or the record that has never once been played. I think they're both pretty bad.
Now, truly, my Spotify is where all of my music lives. I wish I could tell the story of that, but no, that's all streaming. So I pay for a Spotify subscription, but I haven't bought any albums that I actually listened to in a while.
Okay, so I think I know the answer to this next question, but what was the last concert that you went to, Meg Teets?
I feel very happy and very fortunate to be able to say it was Taylor Swift's The Eras Tour in Arlington back in March. Love it. Best night. So fun. How about you? What was the last concert you went to?
Well, of course, it was Harry Styles' Love on Tour in Austin, Texas back in September of 2022. It was just amazing. Just absolutely the best.
Do you have any concerts coming up that you're looking forward to going? Do you go to other like non-Harry related music things very much?
No, I only care about Harry.
Okay.
So
I mean, I guess if
we're in a Harry drought right now. So I'm just waiting.
I guess if we're including all concerts, it would probably be one of Daisy's last orchestra concerts last spring. Those years going to be in Oklahoma City next month. I didn't get tickets, and now they're like almost $300. So I probably won't be going to that. But if anybody has an extra ticket and they can't go to his Oklahoma City show, let me know. Okay. I think I know the answer to this, but it might surprise me. What was the last movie that you saw in the theater?
Grace and I.
Okay. Never. Sorry. I thought we didn't do your answer to the concert one. And so I was like, oh no. Okay. So let's start that again. Okay. I think I know the answer to this, but might surprise me. I don't know. What was the last movie that you saw in the theater?
Grace and I went and saw the Barbie movie together, and that was my last movie. Was it yours also?
Okay. It was also mine. Are we living the same life? That's so funny. Yeah, it was a Barbie movie. It was so good. So good. Going to the Barbie movie reminded me that I do like to see movies in the theater, and I need to get out and do that more often. I don't know why.
It
I
was a
hardly
fun
ever
one
go
for the
just for
theater.
myself.
It was fun for the theater
Yeah.
with like just all the visuals. It was a good one.
Yeah. So good. So good.
Okay, so Meg, what was the last TV show that you binged?
The last thing that I binged on TV is Heartstopper on Netflix season 2.
Oh.
I had started watching with Daisy, then she moved, and then I was like, I'm sorry, I have to finish this. Like we had gotten 2 episodes in, and then we never finished, and I was like, I need to finish this, and I will finish this. And she still hasn't finished it. I need somebody in my life to watch this show. I'm so serious about this.
I
I love
haven't
it so
started that
much.
one.
But yeah, Heartstopper. Okay. If you watch it, tell me, please, so we can talk about it. What about you? What was the last thing you binge watched?
Okay, so I haven't been watching as much television lately. So my latest thing, I actually made my awesome of the week in episode 453 when my husband Nate came on the podcast with me, and that was the
Oh,
show
yes.
Jury Duty.
Yes. So good. You guys, I watched this after Rebekah and Nate talked about it. I love that show so much. And then my friend Kate, who's an awesome superstar, texted me over the weekend, all caps, Jury Duty is so good. She started watching it. So then she and I have been texting about it. I am so glad you brought that to our lives because it's fantastic.
It's like the best thing I've watched all year, I think.
I think so. Yeah. It's so good. I actually still will randomly think about that show. Like just things will just pop into my head from that show.
Did you
It's
watch any
so
of the bonus
good.
footage?
I watched some of it. I kind of like had started, it was just kind of playing in the background and then I never like followed through, but it is super fascinating to see how that whole show came together. That was a good one. So good. Okay. Now, I don't even know if you'll have an answer for this if you haven't been watching TV quite as much, but can you think of what was the last thing that you watched that you hated? Or you're
So
just like, no, I don't like it. It's not for me.
this was hard for me to answer because I feel like I haven't watched that much. I haven't been like dabbling in things. So my answer is probably just any and every YouTube video that my boys are streaming to our living room TV.
Oh my gosh. I feel your pain in the most relatable way. Yes. We have way too much YouTube programming for kids.
It's the worst. It's really the worst. What was the last thing you
Are you
hated? Oh,
Well,
go
I was
ahead.
going to ask is Noah, does he play Roblox? Is he into the whole Roblox thing?
Okay. He plays Roblox, but he hasn't for a while. He kind of goes in and out of his obsessions, and so right now he's
Okay.
really into Pokemon again. He was
Oh,
into
okay.
Pokemon,
Yeah.
and then that faded away, and now he's really into it again. And I'm developing big feelings about the world of Pokemon, feeling like they're just like taking advantage of these young kids and talking about like how
Yes.
expensive these cards are, and how much they're worth, and like it's all about like the collecting and the consumerism of it all, and oh, this card is whatever. It's just they're just taking advantage of these little kids.
Oh, believe me, I know. Yes. For us, it's all Roblox all the time. If the twins aren't playing Roblox, they're watching YouTube videos about
Yes.
Roblox or watching people play Roblox.
Yes.
And I, like you, also have a lot of big feelings about it, but hey. Yes, I get it.
What was the latest flop for you?
Okay, so the other night, Kyla and I were going to watch a movie, and I was looking through all the streaming stuff, and I was like, oh my gosh, John Wick 4 just came out. And I knew that he had watched at least John Wick, which is a Keanu Reeves action adventure franchise, I guess you could say. And I was like, oh, I know he's watched a few of those. And like a lot of guys like really love the John Wick story. I love Keanu Reeves. Let's watch John Wick 4. So we rented it on Prime. Rebekah, when I tell you, it was painful. Like I do I love Keanu Reeves as a person. Like, I love him. I think he's so fascinating and so interesting. But this movie was so boring. Even Kyle got bored. We also, it's like 2 hours and 49 minutes long.
Whoa,
Okay.
that's a long movie.
I want you to let that sink in. When was the last time any of us watched a movie that was that long? And the vast majority of that movie is just fight scenes. It's just like shoot 'em up, action, car chases. There's no dialogue. There's nothing happening. So like, if you like that in your cinema, you would love John Wick 4. It's like, how could anybody not want this 3 hours of this? I was so bored and Kyle was so bored. By the end, we were literally fast forwarding. Like the
Whoa,
writing
that's
was also
wild.
not the writing was also not great. Like, you could totally see what was going to happen in like the first 15 minutes of the movie. You can be like, okay, so this is how this is going to end. And so we got to this point where it's like, it's coming up to the final scene, but then we realized it was going to be like Keanu Reeves' character had to fight his way to the final scene. And Kyle was like, how much of this is left? And we looked to see, and he's like, let's just fast forward. So we just like fast forward. I hated it. I love Keanu Reeves. I hated John Wick 4.
This
I will
is
go
the
on the record for
most
saying that.
harsh review that you've ever given on Sorta Awesome.
It's so bad. It's so bad. There was nothing imaginative about it. But I will say, in terms of like the filmmaking, the fight stuff, like if you like that, the violence, okay. But it was not for me.
What? Okay. What was the last thing that you watched that made you cry?
Okay, so I just watched over the weekend a Netflix original romantic movie. It wasn't really a rom-com. It was just like a contemporary romance book, but except it was a movie.
Okay.
And it's called Love at First Sight.
Oh, okay. I think I've seen clips of it.
Yeah. I was not expecting much. I don't know. I feel like Netflix originals are very, very, very hit or miss for me.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't expecting much, but I wasn't feeling great. And I was laying in bed and I was like, well, I'll just give it a try. Oh my gosh, it was so cute and so darling. I loved it. There is a mom who's dying scene. Like, not that she doesn't die on camera, but one of the mom characters is dying. And so it hit some notes for me, and I shed some tears, but it wasn't like bawling kind of cry, but it was emotional. But the story is so cute. The characters, I just highly recommend if you're just like looking for a cute and also touching contemporary romance. It's called Love at First Sight, and it's on Netflix, and I really liked it. And it brought me to tears, but it has a happy ending. So
okay, well, that's good. Good review. Way to turn things
how
around.
about you?
Okay, so
yes, anything make you cry?
I cry at everything.
Okay.
Literally the last thing that made me cry was a TikTok.
Oh.
That's probably not what you anticipated me saying, but a TikTok.
No.
Okay. I cry while watching TikTok a lot, actually. I feel
what's like your FYP?
Oh, it's the most assaulting FYP. Like, I'm like laughing at things, and then suddenly there's like a stranger reuniting with their child, and then did I say a stranger? I meant a soldier. Did I say a stranger?
I mean, everyone on TikTok is strangers to us, so I was just gonna go with it. But
yeah, that could have worked. No, I meant a soldier. You know, like just I don't know. I just get these videos. Anyway, so this one though. Wait for this one. It was one of those series of photos, that you can like scroll through on TikTok. And it was a series of photos showing Harry Styles themed birthday cakes. And I got so teary looking at all of these wonderful birthday cakes and thinking about how loved the recipient of this cake must feel that their loved ones like sought out this thing that is bringing them such joy and surprised them with a Harry Styles themed cake. And I just got all teary about it.
You're teary again.
I am teary again. It just felt like such an act of love, and I don't know. It just made me really happy for all those. Those birthday cakes.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that is so sweet. My TikTok FYP is rarely emotional. Every now and again, I'll get a poem. Like there's a lot of poets, I feel like, on TikTok. And every now and again, I'll get someone reciting a poem that brings me to tears. But most of mine, it's just, well, most of mine lately is just TikTok shop content.
Oh,
Like, just, I
yeah.
feel like out of every 5 TikToks, I feel like somebody's trying to sell me something. So, but besides that, it's mostly just Taylor Swift content. Okay. I think we've kind of already covered the last question I was going to ask, which was what's the last thing that you watched that you loved? Because I think we both loved Jury Duty. I loved Heartstopper. Like, is there anything else that comes to mind that you're just like, oh, I absolutely loved this?
Well, right now I'm really loving
Or have we covered it all?
Big Brother season 25. This
Oh,
is one
yes.
of my most long-standing, deepest obsessions that I feel like does not get enough airtime from me. Like, I literally can't stop talking about Harry Styles,
Yes.
but, like, I never talk about Big Brother, it seems like, but I love
Yeah.
Big Brother so much, and this season is really, really good, and I'm just really enjoying it. There, for those who are big fans of Survivor, there is a Survivor legend, Sari Fields joined the cast, and so, like, that's this fun twist, except I've never watched Survivor, but still, it's fun, and her son is also in the game, and so that's this, like, secret dynamic that people don't know about, and I'm just really having a very enjoyable time watching the show.
Yes, I'm not watching it, but one of the other podcasts I listen to, Beyond the Blinds, Troy McKeedy's one of the hosts on that, and he's watching it, and he always gives the updates and his thoughts on what's happening on their pop culture episodes. And I had even mentioned it to you, like it made his rundown of what's happening makes me want to watch it. I haven't gotten into it, but Big Brother is definitely an essential part of your like way of being in the world. And I can't believe we haven't talked more about it this season. So I'm so glad I asked. What was the last thing that you watched that you love?
Yeah, it's good. I'm enjoying it.
So good. So good. Okay, well, let's talk about some lifestyle stuff. What was your last in that realm? I'm always so curious. What was your last Amazon purchase?
Okay, my
You have
last
it? You brought
Amazon
a prop? Oh
purchase,
my goodness.
I did bring a prop, and it is these pajama pants. I can't see my face. Okay.
Cute.
So they are, how do you say it? La Tuza? Oh, it's terrible. I don't know how to say it. Okay.
It's an Amazon brand, right?
They're Latuza pajama pants, and they're made out of a combination of bamboo and spandex. And listen, there's a story here, and that is that Rebekah holds on to things for way too long. So these are replacing a pair of pajama pants that I have had for over 10 years that are literally falling apart. They have holes in them. There's holes down at the bottom by my feet. I mean, I have been wearing this one pair of pajama pants. I mean, I'm wearing it till it's falling to shreds. So I had some very specific needs that I was looking for in terms of replacing them. And so this is what I really like about these. I like them so much they could be an awesome of the week. So they are silky, soft, okay, but they're breathable. They're very thin. That was a requirement because I want to be able to wear them in the summertime and in the wintertime.
Yes.
They have pockets, so that's nice for walking around. It holds my phone or whatever else. But here's the big thing is that they are cinched at the ankle. And I really like this.
Oh, cute.
This is probably a controversial opinion as to whether or not you like them cinched at the ankle, your pajama pants. Although they do offer these same pants without that feature. But I like them because I like at night, sometimes when my feet are cold in the wintertime, I like to be able to like stick my foot inside and then they kind of like hang out in there. Oh, Meg is appalled. No?
I don't want it. I don't want it.
I
was
love
totally
this.
tracking with you. I don't want that feature.
I like to be able to tuck my feet into my pajama pants. I do not like when it's open at the bottom and then they ride up super high on my legs. That's really obnoxious.
Yes,
so I feel like this also like kind of holds them more in place. Plus that nice little like tuck feature. I like them.
Okay. I hate that. I am vehemently and violently opposed to anything being on my feet when I'm in bed. But I do agree that I hate the pajama leg slide up.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna need the link to these like immediately, because this is
Okay.
everything I want in a pajama pant, everything you've described. So yay. Yay, new
What was the
pajama
last thing
pants, and I'm so glad you go ahead.
What was the last thing that you bought?
Okay, mine is so boring. Well, I was looking through my Amazon orders. The last few actually were for my kids. Like AJ needed a new cover for her iPad, and Daisy needed a clear stadium bag for going to football games. So those are boring. Mine is also boring. It's a new set of pillow shams. Since I'm in my room, I'll show you. We got new bedding and I needed pillow shams that match. So I got these pretty
Oh,
gray
cute.
shams for bedding. I wish it would have been more interesting, but frankly, that was it. That was the last thing I got on there. So yeah, there's that.
So what was your latest splurge?
Splurge. I've been thinking about this. What have I splurged on lately? Okay. There's an online jewelry company that I've ordered things from in the past, and they were having like a buy two get one free sale.
Mhm.
And so even though I don't really need new earrings or necklaces, I was like, but buy two, get one free? That's a good deal. So Rebekah, I may have done a little splurging in my order. But to be fair, I got some of them also as gifts for the upcoming holiday season. So
Oh, well, that
that's
was
how I
smart.
justified it.
Budget shopping. That sounds like budget
What a,
shopping, not a splurge.
yeah. I mean, it's September. I'm ahead of the game. I'm buying gifts already. So there's that. What about you? What have you splurged on besides your new pajama pants?
Okay. So, if you haven't figured it out, splurges are few and far between for me. I am kind of hesitant to spend money, but welcome to just another edition of the Harry Styles drinking game. My latest splurge is Harry Styles related, and this should be a shock to no one. Harry Styles came out with some merch for the last leg of his tour. It so bad, but it was only available in
Okay.
Europe at his European shows. But I had somebody get it for me and send it to me. So it's a sweatshirt that has the years that he was on tour, because this was like the tour that never ended, because it originally got shut down because of the pandemic, and then it was delayed, and then it took forever for him to make up his shows. So it has the 3 years that there was the tour, and then on the backside it has every single tour stop that he went to. And so the 2 concerts that I went to are listed on the back, and it just makes me so happy.
Oh my gosh. I'm so happy for you.
I spent more money on this than what I should have, because I then also paid for shipping from Europe, and I gave her like a little like thank you tip. But I didn't know if these were going to be available online later. They are. It was available then later online, but I still have no regrets over my splurge, because I just didn't know. I didn't know if it was going to be available, so I'm so thankful and so excited to have it. It makes me so happy.
I'm so happy. I'm so glad you got it. And I think it's worth it that you had the peace of mind of knowing that you were going to get it, even if it never went up for sale online. Like, good for you. That is a quality splurge.
Oh, and the best part is that I was streaming his final concert in my living room. I was watching an Instagram live video of his final concert. I was watching it with Grace. The concert ends. I'm very emotional. I'm crying.
Yes.
Then Nate walks in from outside with the package of the merch. It was like the most unreal timing. I like burst into tears.
That is perfect.
Half the awesomes are like dabbing their eyes with me. The other half are rolling their eyes like, okay, enough of this. But like, it was just perfection. I was so thrilled.
That is Kismet if I've ever heard of it. That is so perfect. I love it. Okay, let's keep talking about some lifestyle kind of adjacent things. What was your last home improvement project? It could be small, it could be big, something that you did home improvement wise.
Okay, I live in a house that's 167 years old. We have been here for like 13 years. We have a lot of things that have piled up that we need to do, including
Yeah.
this tunnel that is like running through my backyard that is collapsing, and we're going to have excavated because we're getting a hole in our backyard because of this random tunnel that's buried under the ground. I mean, it's like the stupidest stuff.
Wait, I need you to say more. What do you mean there's a tunnel
So
in your
it used to
backyard?
be like some sort of like drainage system or something,
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
and it's
I didn't know
underground.
if it was a human-sized tunnel or what
I
is
think it's pretty
happening.
big, but no, it was like a drainage tunnel or something. But it's starting
Okay.
to fall apart, and then it's like collapsing, and then we're getting holes from the surface are
Oh
like
my
going down into the
gosh.
tunnel. It's like the
Yes.
stupidest stuff. I feel like
Yeah.
we have a list
I
a
hate
mile
it.
long of things that we have to fix, but
Yes.
a very, very small, but I'm considering a successful victory. I repainted my front door, and it is bringing me so much
Oh,
joy. It's just the
how
smallest of
nice.
things, but it looks so good, and it's making me excited for all the other things that are going to be wonderful to have crossed off our list.
I love that for you. Okay, yes, our house is young compared to yours. It's only 100 years old, and we have lived here for 12 years, and or is it 11? I don't know, over a decade. We have a lot piling up too. And like projects like you just mentioned are like so boring. Like it's going to
Right.
probably cost money and it's going to be a headache to deal with. And it's like, okay, and then what? Then we just have a usable backyard again. Okay, cool. Like I hate those kind of projects. I haven't really done anything home improvement like project wise. However, we have lived here a while and clutter has been just like I just have been feeling so it started with getting Daisy packed to move and we like pulled a bunch of stuff out of the room and it just got me to where I was like I just kind of want to do this to all of the rooms. Like
Hmm.
so I've been slowly tackling projects in every room and I don't mean just like a surface declutter. I mean clean out from the depths, from under the beds, the back of the closet, just like it's been slow and steady. And I don't even know if you could call it a home improvement project, but it's improving my quality of life to get all of
Sure.
this stuff out
Yeah,
of our house. So, yeah,
for
that's the
sure.
last one I've been working on. Yeah.
Okay, I am so curious, Meg. When was the last time you were embarrassed?
Okay, it's so interesting because this actually relates directly to the clean out we've been doing. As we've been cleaning things out, I've been listing tons of stuff on Facebook Marketplace, just like some stuff for sale, but also we have a OKC Buy Nothing group and people just can come get stuff for free. Mostly I'm just like, please, somebody come get this stuff. And I had arranged with somebody to come pick something up. I only do porch pickup. I am not going to drive anywhere
Right.
to meet
Yes.
anybody. If you want it, come to my house. I live right in the middle of Oklahoma City, central to everybody. But if you want it, come and get it. And so I'd been, messaging back and forth, made all these arrangements with this person for them to come by and get it. And I forgot to set it out. And I also wasn't home when they came by to get it. And I felt so embarrassed. I felt so bad. It was something I was selling. And then I was like, I'm so, so sorry I missed you. I really, like when I realized it, I had that full body, just like flush of embarrassment. I felt so bad. It was something I was selling. I was like, I'm so sorry. I just completely dropped the ball on this. If you want to come back by, you can just have it for free. And they're like, okay. And it
Oh.
all worked out. But I just was so embarrassed when I realized I had forgotten to do it. So
Well,
I'm
I
getting
think
embarrassed right now.
I think that's common. Like it happens, right? But we've all been on the other side of it,
Yeah.
of somebody like not showing up because they've forgotten, and we know how
Yes.
annoying
Yeah.
Facebook Marketplace interactions can be. So we don't want to contribute to that annoyance for sure. That makes sense.
Exactly.
Oh,
Yes. So what about you? When was the last time you were embarrassed?
okay. So we have joined a small group with this newish church that we have been attending for the past couple of years. And that comes with a little bit of growing pains as you are dabbling in vulnerabilities and kind of exposing yourself
Oh,
and like who you.
yeah.
There is this husband who is in the group whom I like. I get along with him. I think he's great. And he was sharing this story about this like freak medical
Oh,
this
no.
like freak medical concern that he had. And listen, this is not that
Oh, no.
embarrassing. Okay. You don't need to like
Okay.
get in a panic that I really stepped in.
Oh,
it.
okay.
But he had this
Okay.
like freak medical problem, and I could not pull it together. It tickled me so funny. I just thought this was the most bizarre medical issue, and I started giggling and I started laughing, and I got to the point where I was half crying, and I was like, none of these people know me well enough for this to be my reaction to his medical issue. But I couldn't pull it together. The issue was that the thing that dangles in the back of your throat, the uvula.
Yeah.
His was abnormally long.
Okay.
And
All
he
right.
had
Okay.
to have surgery to remove his uvula.
I didn't know that was a thing.
I didn't know it was either. But once he realized that it was getting in the way, like he was clearing his throat a lot, every time he would swallow, it would like tug on the uvula.
Oh, no. God. Oh, my gosh.
I just could not pull it together. And Nate, my husband, God bless him, he didn't know what that was called in the back of the throat. And he kept like repeating it and like trying to say it. And I was so scared he was going to mess it up and call it the vulva. And so I was like on pins and needles, like just waiting for him to say it wrong. And then there's this guy who, by all means, like kind of looks like a lumberjack. He's like soft-spoken and he's like so kind. He's not like burly, like, ugh. But he has kind of long hair and this like big full beard, and he almost always wears flannel. And he's talking about this enlarged dangly thing in the back of his throat. And I was crying at his poor medical living rooms, and everybody's looking at me like, what's going on with you? I was like, I'm sorry, I'm trying. I couldn't handle it. It was the funniest thing I had heard in such a long time, but they were not the audience for that type of energy.
Never in my whole life have I wanted so badly to have had camera footage of this whole Oh my gosh, Rebekah.
The more I tried to hold it in, the more like explosive it got as it like leaked out. Just like these like bursts of laughter and tears.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Yes.
Welcome to the new small group.
Oh, that is hysterical. Okay, I have questions. We'll just leave it there. We'll leave it there. That is amazing, and my life is better for having heard that story.
Apparently, that's actually very painful to have that removed. So my sympathies go out to anybody who's had that problem. I'm so sorry.
Yes, exactly. Okay, another question for you. This is kind of like something we talk about often here on the show, trying out hacks. What was the last new hack that you tried or that you've implemented that you're learning?
Okay, so this one is life-changing. It's a TikTok hack. Meg, did you know that if you hold your finger down on the side of the screen, you can fast forward through TikToks? It speeds it up.
Wait, what? If you just hold your... I did not know this. You just like the TikTok's playing and you just hold your finger where on the left side of the screen? Is that what you said?
On the left side or
Or
the
the right
right
side?
side. It doesn't really matter. You can do it on either side. You just hold your finger down and
What?
it speeds up to 2 times speed. And so if somebody's telling a story time or they're talking or you're watching like a recipe video or something or you're waiting for something to happen, you can watch it in double speed.
Oh my gosh. No, I didn't know that. And I do feel like you just changed my life for real.
Yeah.
Okay. That's so handy, especially now that TikToks can be up to 10 minutes long. You know, like some of them you do need people to hurry up. Okay. That's so good. My last new hack that I have tried is having an actual little trash can in my car. I have
Oh.
talked about how I'm in the car like 2 hours a day now for school drop off and pickup. And so I've been really trying to keep everything nice and tidy. But I've noticed that even like little things like straw wrappers or receipts, if I leave those like in different places around my car, it's like everybody in my car goes into trash mode. Like, who cares? We'll
Mhm.
just leave our trash in here. But just the simple thing, I have one of those little cup holder ones and I put it in my car doors like side cup holder. Just the simple thing of getting everyone's trash, my own trash, everything, and putting it in that trash can immediately is helping keep my car so much cleaner. The kids are remembering, and I very much remind people, get everything out of the car, but they're remembering. They're like, Mom, here's my trash. And we're just, I don't know. It's making a big difference for me. It was a very simple little purchase.
You'll have to share the link for the trash can that you have. I've been using an empty
Yeah.
tissue box.
Oh, that's so smart. There you go. Perfect. Perfect. Okay. We have even more. What was the last? When was the last for each other? We're going to get to when we come right back. Okay. We are back. And Rebekah and I have been talking about when was the last or what was the last today, kind of revealing these different parts of our lives, stories we never would have heard otherwise. But now we have some questions that are, sort of like just for each other based on what we know about the other person. So, Rebekah, I have some questions for you.
Okay.
Starting with, when was the last time you painted your nails?
Oh my goodness.
I can see your nails are done and they're so pretty.
Well, I thought that could be a question that you asked me, so I brought along the bottle of polish that my nails are. I painted my nails on Sunday after coming home from the beach. I just had like a relaxing Sunday, or maybe I painted them on Saturday. And I painted the color Besties, which is one of their older colors, but it's this really beautiful, like bluish green color that I feel like is the perfect summer fall transition color. And I really love it.
Yes. Okay. My nails are done, but they're not, I didn't paint them. These are press-ons. I still am loving my nail combo of the Kiss press-ons with, what's the name of the glue? What did I do with it? Glamnetic, I think, is the brand.
Oh, nice.
I just had these out. Anyway, don't use the Kiss glue. It's terrible. I think it's called Glamnetic. Now I can't find it, of course. Anyway, I'll put a link in the show notes. But yeah, so my nails are done, but they're not painted by me.
They look beautiful.
Next. Thank you. Thank you. We're both going kind of dark, feeling the fall vibes, I feel like. What was the last thing that you sold on Facebook Marketplace?
Oh, goodness. The last thing that I sold. What was the last thing that I sold? Let me look and see if I can figure it out.
Maybe it's been a minute. You are my Facebook Marketplace guru. When I have questions, you always answer. You talk me through. You give me the scripts so that I can do it better.
Okay. I think the last thing that I sold was some of Grace's clothing that she has outgrown.
Oh, good. Good for you.
Not very
Turn
exciting,
it around.
but yeah.
Okay. What was the last book that you read? Maybe it was Nick's. I don't know.
Okay, the last book that I read is called The Summer I Saved You by Elizabeth O'Rourke. And I didn't exactly love it, partially because, like, a big thing that I like about books is when there's more of an external conflict keeping people apart rather than internal angst. And this book was very internal angst. So it was like small town, single mom, boss relationship, childhood crush. Like, those are like the main tropes. But there was also levels of grief and loss that they were dealing with. And it was kind of there's a lot of this, I'm not worthy of you, I can't give you what you need type of angst, which I think works for a lot of people, but
Oh,
I just wasn't quite feeling it.
yeah,
So I
I
recommend it
get it.
if that's
I'm kind of
that's
like
your
you.
vibe. What is the last book you
Okay.
read?
We'll put a link in the show notes if you guys want to go check it out. I read it. I read a book on audio. I found it on TikTok. I forgot to say also my TikTok FYP is also high volume of Heartstopper related ones. And so I saw this TikTok that was an author saying, if you loved Heartstopper, if you love Nick and Charlie's story and Heartstopper, the stories of some of the other characters, you might like my book. And his book is called This Is Why They Hate Us. It's by Aaron H. And it's really good. It's like high school boy coming of age, coming to terms with his sexuality story. And it takes place across the summer. I think it's the summer before his junior or senior year of high school. It's really good. It's very sweet. It's very touching, touches on a lot of different issues, a lot of different things like race and identity and all kinds of stuff. I really liked it. And the narrator was fantastic. So again, that's called This Is Why They Hate Us. And I listened to it on Audible. So
Good.
yeah. Okay, Rebekah, this is a deep cut in our history, a flashback to the way back stacks of our friendship.
Okay.
When was the last time that you dreamed about a YouTuber?
Oh my word, about a YouTuber? Oh goodness. I used to dream about YouTubers
Yeah.
all the time. Usually the
Yes.
dreams involved me dating YouTubers who were not straight. I am straight. I'm fully straight.
Yep.
But yet I kept dreaming, somebody's going to have a heyday with this one. I kept dreaming about dating YouTubers that were not straight. Men and women, probably. It was mostly men, I think. I can't remember. It feels like it's been a while, thankfully.
Okay. I wondered if it had been a while because I do feel like you would almost always text me to be like, you're not going to believe what I dreamed about. I haven't heard an update on that in a while. So I figured maybe that era in your life was over. So, okay. My last question for you, and I think now I might know the answer to this. I don't know. When was the last time that you cried in public? As we talked about, you cry easily. I do too. So I'm just curious, when was the last time you cried in public?
The last time I cried in public. Let me think for a minute. You can cut out the thinking part.
That's fine.
Okay. Oh, okay. I remember. The last time I cried in public was definitely at church, not that long ago. There was the psalm playing Waymaker, and it talks about excuse me. Excuse me. There was a song called Waymaker playing that was talking about just like God's goodness, even when like we can't see it, even when we can't like see a way, he like makes a way. And it just really, really touched me.
Yeah.
It's just really was a touching song. I cry absolutely every time I hear that song. It's just a good reminder for me that even like if I can't see the way forward, that there is a way forward waiting for me. So yeah, that was probably the last time I cried in public.
Aww. Okay. I know the last time I cried in public is I made the mistake of watching and listening to the Dear Me at 16 letters that Catherine collected and put on Sort of Awesome's Instagram. Oh my gosh, those all got to me so
They're
much.
so good.
And I was in line at the grocery store.
Oh no.
You just open and you're just like flipping through. And I was like, oh no. And then I just kept watching it. And I was just like, I was very teary. I wasn't like sobbing, but I definitely had tears in my eyes to the point where I'm sure a few people around me were like, is she okay? So those were really good, really touching. Okay, those were some good answers.
Okay, are you ready for your round?
Good. You have some for me?
Yes, I do. Okay.
I'm ready. I feel nervous, but I'm ready.
What was the last thing that you cleaned with your new viral scrubby brush thing?
Oh, yes, it's the downstairs shower, which is the main reason I got it. I have been using it for other things, but genuinely just over the weekend, I was cleaning house. That shower, it's a nightmare in and of itself. But Now I get my little scrubby spinner thingy out and I'm done in like a minute. I love it so much still.
Well, my TikTok For You page is definitely listening to our conversations because I have been getting so much of that scrub brush content being served to me. I need to get one.
Listen, I bought it and I'm still getting TikToks about it. So
Okay, Meg, what is the last beauty product that you purchased?
that's a good question. I'm like looking around for help from my beauty product collection here. What are we counting as beauty products?
Makeup,
Like makeup?
skincare, whatever.
Okay. I was going to say, I don't think I can even remember the last skincare thing I bought because when Daisy went to school, she left a bunch of her skincare stuff. So I just been using that. Makeup wise, I repurchased my very favorite liquid eyeliner, a pro tip. I got that. And then I also that same trip got the Hydro Beam concealer from Say. I needed to get it
Nice.
in a darker color. I only had it like in the lightest color. I love this so much. It's a little pricey, but it lasts forever and I love it. So I repurchased, well, this was just a different shade of something I already loved and repurchased that. So not very
nice.
exciting, but hey, like when you know what you like,
Well, those repurchases
gotta
are
restock sometimes.
even better endorsements than an initial purchase, I would think.
Yes. Yes, definitely. Definitely. What about you? Anything new in your collections?
Okay, so I purchased the e.l.f. contour palette and
Oh,
that excited. I don't know. I had a terrible experience in an Ulta and I like panic purchased this instead of the like $40 item that they were trying to sell me. And I'm happy
oh
with it. It's
no.
working just fine.
Okay, good. Good. I'm glad to know.
Okay, what is the last thing you took a picture of on your phone?
Interesting. Let's find out. I think I know what it is. I think it's from my walk this morning with Izzy. So there's a street I walk down every day on my walk, and this house has this cactus growing outside. And I just always think it's so pretty. And today the sky was like just so blue, and this cactus, I don't know, it just was like so pretty. This is a very random thing, but I don't know if you can see it. The lighting is terrible
Yeah.
on this screen, but like that cactus, I just was
Mhm.
like, I'm taking a picture of it today because it like actually you can't see it because of the glare and stuff. It actually has blooms on it, these really pretty purple blooms. So the last thing I
Well,
took a picture of was a cactus in my
that's so
neighborhood.
wholesome. I don't have cactuses in Lancaster County. I love that.
I think that is why I notice it because like this is Oklahoma. We're not in like the Southwest by any means, but a lot of people in my neighborhood are kind of doing more like natural landscaping, like things that are more natural to our area and to
Mhm.
our environment. And so I've been seeing these huge cactuses more and more. And I just thought that one was so pretty. So I took a picture.
Okay, well, while you have your phone out,
Rebecca, I have a lot of nature pics on my phone. I have a
well,
lot of
that's very
nature.
wholesome. I think that's fantastic.
Okay.
Now, while you have your phone out, I want you to go into your YouTube app and I want you to tell me the last video that you watched on YouTube. You and I used to be really big in
Hey.
watching YouTube.
Oh no. Hang on. Yes. Wait, say that again. My headphones cut out. You and I what? Oh, okay.
You and
This
I
is
used
funny.
to be really big into watching YouTube. And I know that our YouTube watching habits have changed over the years, but what is it? What did you watch?
Yes. It's ASMR, you guys. I have to look it up on my browser to get the full name of this for you guys. I love to go to sleep to ASMR and I put on my music cozy. And so this was last night. It's from Goodnight Moon, which is one of my favorite ASMR channels. Speaking of when was the last time you were embarrassed? The title is ASMR Celebrity Personal Assistant, parentheses, bath time, steam treatment, positive affirmations.
Is this like
Yep.
ASMR fanfic crossover? What is this?
Yep. It is. I I'm so embarrassed. My face feels like it's on fire right now. I don't know what to say. I don't always listen to the ASMR like role play ones, but I last night I just opened my app and that one was genuinely at the top of my, what do you call it on YouTube, your homepage. And I wasn't up to like scrolling and finding it. And I love Goodnight Moon. And so I was like, all right, celebrity personal assistant role play. Here we go.
Little did you
So
know how
embarrassed. I
much
did
that
not
would
know you
come
were going to
back
ask
to
me that.
bite. Oh, that is hilarious. That is absolutely
Oh
hilarious.
my Lord.
Okay, well, to make
Okay.
it fair, I will share what I watched last. It is
Okay,
not.
please do.
It
Please
is not
do.
as embarrassing as yours. I mean, nothing could be.
Just to be honest, yes.
Okay, so I watched a decluttering themed video by somebody, a channel that I'd never watched before, but it like served to me on my homepage. It is titled, I Tried Swedish Death Cleaning My Entire House. It Took Me 6 months
I've heard of this.
by Mia Maples. Now, listen, this was fascinating. You nodded when I said I tried Swedish death cleaning. So it sounds to me like this is a concept that you are familiar with. Trigger warning, death.
From YouTube. I'm familiar with it from YouTube. I've actually watched some of these Swedish death cleaning videos. Yes.
It was fascinating. The whole idea and the concept is, if I were to die, what would I want people to be left having to deal with? Now, my parents are older. They're in their late 70s. And I would say that my mother has been Swedish death cleaning, going through the house, asking people, do you want this? Do you want that? Getting rid of things, really, really deep decluttering. And she's done a fantastic job. Now, Mia Maples is young. She's like, I mean, I'm going to guess she's in her 20s, married, but she was doing this herself too. And I thought the concept was fascinating. When I think about decluttering my house, I haven't really thought about in terms of if I die, but I have been thinking about in terms of if I move. Like if I need to box up everything that I have, what do I want to have to deal with? But the idea of somebody coming in behind you and having to deal with the stuff that you've left behind, I think would be a great motivator. Now, I hope we have time for this. I know we're cutting it close here, but I brought for you just a little tidbit from my childhood, because thinking about your potential death is something that some people consider quite morbid and they're just not at all interested. I, however, I'm guessing I was maybe 8 when I wrote this. I have a will that I wrote in my childhood.
Okay.
My mother gave this to me, probably in the process of her Swedish death cleaning. She came across this. And I start out my will by saying goodbye, spelled just B-Y, to my sister, my brother, my mom, dad, and my dog. I love you all. And then I proceed to leave all of my earthly belongings to certain people. I give my Cabbage Patch dolls to my best friend from childhood. I give my books to my sister, my clothes to my mother. I give my pens and pencils to a church friend. It's so here I say that. Hold on a second. Okay. Some of my money to mom and dad, some to my sister, some to my brother, and $1 to some of my most important relatives. Some of the other stuff to the poor, and the rest for all of you. Then some final instructions. Don't have a long and boring funeral. One more thing. I would like to wear what mom thinks is best. P.S. I loved you all, and at least I could say goodbye. I had some nice memories with you. Again, saying goodbye, and then a drawing of me, my brother, my mom, my sister, and my dad, and we are all crying. There's not a date on this, but I'm guessing I was 8, maybe 7. I'm just thinking about how old my kids are and their writing abilities, and that's just my guess. So
that is both so wholesome and also so dramatic.
I guarantee this was not the only will that I wrote. There's probably more floating around out there.
That is so, it's very core Rebekah moment right here. That
Enneagram
is so
6,
funny.
even at a young age.
Yes. Getting that backup plan in place from a young age. You are always going to be a 6 for sure. That is too cute and so funny. Thank you for bringing that to the show. I really do feel like I've learned a lot more about you today through our questions. Oh, so good. So good. Okay. This has been so fun. I do want to ask some of these questions to the community, so stay tuned on social media so you can tell us about you guys' lasts. But Rebekah, in the meantime, if people want to find you to talk about this or anything, where can we find you all around the web?
My website is simplyrebekah.com, and I'm most active on Instagram. You can find me there at simplyrebekah.
Okay, you can find me at Sorta Awesome Meg, all the places online. You can also find Sorta Awesome just by searching Sorta Awesome wherever you are. Again, please come and find us in our communities. We would love to have you there. And I know it would bring so much more awesome to your life. So come and find us. And awesomes, thanks so much for listening. We'll see y'all next time.